Okay, then it is 5:32. We will call this meeting to order. Moving on to item 2, discussion and action, approval of minutes. Did everyone have a chance to review the minutes by email? Okay. Any questions, any changes made? Anybody?
There was something I saw here that I did not know it was a day of Halloween for 6A. I wasn't here at this meeting, so. I'm perusing right now again for the trunk or treat, right? Is it on the day of?
No,
Oh, so what?
and I will be presenting on it
Okay,
in
right.
further in the meeting. Yeah.
So any changes anyone sees? No? Okay. Is there a motion to approve minutes?
So moved to approve.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, minutes are approved from the last meeting. Moving on to item 3, do we have any citizen comments?
We do not have any citizen comments.
Then that is 3. Moving on to item 4, marquee updates.
For our marquee update, basically, I would like to let you all know that we have completed this project.
Hopefully Maribel can
Yeah,
show the pictures.
yeah, and both the main branch and the southmost branch marquees are both running and they're already showing graphics on there. Yep, finally. 3-ish months later, but we're up and running, so yay. Yeah,
Yeah, and if I can add, you recall, you guys were instrumental in deciding the design, the color, so it's a win for everybody.
Miss Rachel wasn't here for the announcement.
Yeah, but she was aware, she knows.
I'm sure she was on top of it.
Yeah. oh, yeah.
And I just have a feeling it has worked. I see more people coming in. Our stats have been the highest amount after COVID. We're about almost 7,000 people coming in the library. So yeah, a year ago it was 500 a week.
Great.
Now it's
Okay. So I can ask a question. So in terms of marquee, it's done. There's nothing else to.
that's it. And all the requests, the light, you see the light next to it? There's a new light. We're pending the banners that we're gonna be putting. We couldn't put it in front of the marquee because it's Eastman State. That's the best we could do. Now, on the Manzano side, the lights are awesome at night. They look nice, and I don't know when we leave, I don't know if it's gonna be dark, you'll be able to see it, but we couldn't put the light post near southmost because of state easements.
You're talking about the
Yeah.
side?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the farthest away we can get to southmost. It wouldn't be able to. We can't go more because it's not our property and it's not in the easement. So
That's a city light. That's a.
yeah,
thing.
I felt like going to the southmost. Yeah.
Okay.
As far as circulating announcements, how does that work?
We have a program and it's like we're trying to put kind of funny or catchy things, but we also like when we have the new hours, we put it there. We do advertise like for the trick or treat, trunk or treat. And so we do advertise, but we combine between actually services and funny catchphrases.
Any chance of considering marketing, advertising opportunities, fundraising?
Perhaps in the past, we need to see what we can do with legal, but yeah, and we need more funding, right?
I'm just.
Yeah, and I'm assuming we can because city buses have that, so yeah, so that's a good option, yes. We just never thought about it, but why not, you know, and it is sponsored, especially programming, you know.
Or even, I mean, just brainstorming, right? If there's a big sponsor around a specific event.
Yeah,
By,
correct. And we again, we have a computer in each that connects to the sign, and we can put whatever it is to advertise it there.
And that's a good point that Chris brought up as far as sponsorship opportunities for your events and,
Correct.
and putting business out there that's sponsoring that announcement.
Sort of Chick-fil-A or something.
There you go.
Does anyone have any other questions about the marquee? No? Okay. Then we can move on to item number 5, discussion of fiscal year 23 library work.
Yeah, Marivel's gonna put the different work plans. So let me tell you a preface. First of all, every year, the past 3 years, every department within the city is required to show a work plan as to what we will be doing besides a normal day-to-day. This is different, unique, and it divides in different pillars. The library has 3 types of pillars. One of them is governance. The other one is infrastructure, and the other one is quality of life. And so what I'm gonna be updating is, first of all, even though it says here 23, the 22, all the work plans were completed. You know, you can see the mural, furniture and all that. So for the 23, I'm gonna give you with an asterisk. We have planned to discuss all of them, but it has not officially been given the go-ahead from the commission. I doubt the commission is gonna be denying any one of these work plans because obviously I'm biased, but I think they're all good work plans. But I'm gonna discuss some of them or answer any of them as best I can with Brenda's help. But this is not 100% that it's gonna happen until commission. It was supposed to be done last Tuesday, but because of other issues that you may or may not be aware of, it was tabled for the next meeting. But again, they have not discussed, they have never declined any of the work plans. And so I'm gonna just talk to them. So obviously the first one is develop and implement a mentee program for our professionals and frontline staff. The city has a lot of programming, but what we want to do is ourselves, as some of us are librarians, we want to mentor some of the employees, and the employees were given an opportunity to select, you know what, I want to learn from Juan, or I want to learn from Brenda, or I want to learn from whomever. They get to choose 3 options, and then we're gonna do a mentee program where the object is for them to improve, but also maybe they can move up, you know, a succession plan that when I retire, then people take over a promotion, you know, librarians promote that. That's the idea. The other one is develop and implement a self-led technical skills professional development program. Basically, computer software that they can learn customer service,
Have a lot of.
Go skills, right?
Yeah, we have incorporated several databases into our services that are all basically, so what I'm looking for, continuing education. And so they'll get certificates for that. So the plan is to go ahead and encourage your staff to go ahead and further develop their already skills or learn new skills through this and get certified through those programs such as Go Skills, LinkedIn Learning, and others that we have.
Yeah, and it will be through a scheduled time. It will be at, you know, and this time you're gonna be doing this, or before it was optional. Now we're gonna enforce it. Obviously, the other one is update technology plan. It's required that we need to update at least every 5 years, Courtney, I believe. 3 years, okay. And so obviously technology changes, you know, the commercial that you buy a phone, and by the time you get to the corner, you already have a new phone, you know, so we need to update that. The other one is continued implementation of a culture, total alignment, focusing on leadership development retreats. Basically, we're going to continue our culture. Our culture has changed the past 3 years from a command and control to more of a, as you can see here, empowerment, and anybody can be in front of the board. Before it was just me with the board. Now everybody, we're all the same. So we're trying to participate in leadership and trust that they can handle it. So that's a continuing process. Go ahead and move on, Maria. We're gonna form a team. This is more of a.
How does it?
This is more of the quality of life. We're gonna form a teen advisory council, because that's the hardest generation or the age group to get into. So we're gonna an advisory council. If you recall, the board created a task force. We're gonna do almost the same thing, but just with the teens. We're gonna develop a plan for a teen area in the main branch. Currently, we do not have a specific designated area that we have here. So we're gonna carve out some area within the shelves to just designate just for the teens. We're gonna research how to develop a community garden at each library. Obviously, the Southmost has an advantage because a lot of acreage, but we're gonna do a community garden. And I know that we applied for a grant for community garden, but even then, if that's the case, we can still at least start it.
Brownsville Wellness Coalition.
They're involved.
They were
Yeah, they're,
ready whenever you are.
and we are ready to.
I had a question about the teen area at the main branch. So right now are like all the teen books with the children books, or is it like separated or?
Actually with the adult collection.
Oh,
So that's where we kind of, it actually ties into the next item, which is the inventory. So based on this inventory, we can kind of go ahead and see like, hey, where would be a good spot to kind of shift the collections and try to make up a specific area that can be more defined for the teens.
So they're just like by genre, like if they're adult books.
Yes,
YA.
yeah, they're the YA section. So essentially it flows from the adult nonfiction collection and then kind of goes into the periodicals, and then you have the YA collection. So we think it's time to go ahead and give them a space just for themselves, you know, where we can put tables and they can actually hang
Lounge.
out and lounge there.
And I mean, we already started doing, we started the sophomore, the inventory of the library collection. We want to do that. We started today. And we already had a schedule, right, Lisa? And so that's what's going on. We need to do, make sure that we have the books that we have. And that's a state accreditation. We need to have, the state has a policy rule that whatever assigned population in this case is about 260,000, we have to have 1-for-1. It doesn't have to say that it's physical. It could be physical and or electronic. So that's why right now the highest circulation is electronic materials. So they don't take space. So that's why we can, based on our collection development policy, we can remove some books that never get traction.
Weeding come in during that time, during inventory. Okay.
And again, I'm glad you said that. Weeding is a very unique situation where people think that we just throw books away. No, sometimes book being there, it doesn't serve any purpose. So as long as we're above, we're at 300,000 books. So we need to, by procedure, I would do some weeding,
What
provide the
do
most.
you do, like if it just hasn't been checked out in X amount of time or?
We remove them, we give them to either the friends of the library, which each library has, and then the proceeds go back to the library. And if they're very worse, then recycle. But again, there's sort of the criteria has to follow that pattern. Any questions so far?
I have some questions. So this was, you said this was a plan submitted to the commission, so we're just waiting.
Basically, and I will, Commissioner Galante is here. Normally, we're very good at doing the work plan, so I don't see the commission. They might ask questions as to why you're doing that. But I don't see the commission say, no, don't do that, because this is our work plan. And again, no pressure, but you. So again, we've done very good at, we do this, first of all, this work plan was not done by one. This is a collaborative effort, and we already started writing down things for next year. So it's very thought out for the future. And again, sometimes it doesn't involve money, it involves thought and interaction with the staff and what the public is wanting. It's not what I want, it's not what Brenda wants. But we can't do it overnight, you know, we have to do it little by little. So again, I just have to say that it hasn't, it was supposed to be last Tuesdays, but it was tabled, but I don't foresee this being denied. They might have some concerns or questions, but.
Well, the only question I had was, assuming it gets approved, our role, I guess, are there sort of, you know, short-term goals, long-term goals in terms of how the work plan is being accomplished?
Have dates? We didn't put that. We do like one of them is kind of infrastructure, replace exterior door. We already did that. So we check, we have by a certain date. So it is very detailed, even by quarters, and we make comment why if we do not accomplish that by that quarter, we have to have a justification. So it's a very detailed. We just showed you the actual highlights, but there's actually a form where we submit when we're doing it, by when do we have to do it. We don't wait until the end of the year to do, oh, by the way, we did this. As we accomplish one of the tasks, check it out. Again, and this is beyond or besides the day-to-day, which is provide the best service possible. And so,
And I guess I'm just trying to see our role in that is our role for accountability, to see how each of the boxes is being, you know, each is progressing. Like each meeting, are we gonna get an update for this or sort of how?
your role is just to, because we, on the programming, we usually talk about it. And then like, for example, you just mentioned about advertising. Perhaps that could be an item that we can put, you know, so you indirectly or unknowingly or without even knowing, you already provided some of this indirectly or by a comment or suggestion.
I see a little bit of, from what you're showing, some of what we had discussed, when I say we, as far as the
Correct.
task force.
Correct, yeah.
Is there a template that is provided? for
Yes.
This work?
For every department.
For every department, okay, so it's, okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
So you have told us some of this by your comments, Mr. Pineda. Besides the fact that some of the things are, we know that we have to do an inventory. That's just an internal thing that we do. And then like plan to how better utilize our exterior areas to enhance our patron experience at the main and Southmost Library branches. As we're at Southmost Library, is one of the biggest advantages of Southmost Library is that we have a lot of acreage. And so we want to use the exterior, put some seating around trees. And of course, we can do it overnight, but we're gonna start with that, maybe a trail. But right now we're just planning and see what we can do to use the whole premises of the Southmost. At the main, one of the things is we gotta, there's some people waiting outside. We're gonna put some benches, possibly put a fence along Central Boulevard. So when we have sort of like what we have here, so when we have programs, there's a safety that looks kind of nice. So things like that. We want to make sure that we can use not only the interior of the library, but also the exterior of the library. Purchase and install forensic deep freeze software. That's for cybersecurity. That's actually in process right now. Basically, right now, when a patient comes to use the computer, they log in with their library card and their pen. The minute they leave, and you guys can recommend. Basically, it refreshes whatever the history the patient uses, so that it's security, but it also protects the computer from any kind of viruses, right?
Ms. Ruby made a comment. She said a gazebo would be nice at the Southmost branch, just an idea.
Perfect. And that's one of the things that we've been thinking about. And the next one is upgrade a POS system that works in current library software. Point of sale system, we currently have one that is basically stinks, so we're working on a new one. We've had several demos, and so we're trying to find a system that works not only for us, but enterprise-wise with other city departments. Replace exterior staff doors. That I can officially tell you, the board, that we have replaced the exterior staff doors at main library. They were very rotten after 27 years. So we replaced the main entrance. Staff doors entrance. Improve the appearance of our children's department at the main branch. Right now, that area has wallpaper. We wanna at least start from the dino zone and work to the front with some wallpaper and start doing some paint. And paint is not that expensive. You know, this used to be all beige and we painted. So we want to start complementing the dino zone, main branch, with paint or any other kind of graphics. Improve the appearance of the children's department. Replace existing Cisco wireless access points. So that's something that everybody has phone or apparatus. Our wireless system at the main branch is inconsistent at best. And so they're going to replace 25 access points so our patrons can be in the library using their own computer and without being interrupted, because it's the Wi-Fi access points are lagging big time. Coordinate internal service with internal services to replace the roof. That's in the latter stages of it. The only reason it's already been a year. The only reason it's delayed because the proverbial, delay in delivering the 80 units. The roof has been replaced. It's been replaced, but what's the term when there's a back order of equipment. So hopefully by the end of this December or February, December for the units and February final completion, the main roof has been replaced after 27 years because there was some kind of leakage and the ACs were inconsistent. And by the way, no work plan item is approved, but we don't plan it without funding behind it. There is a funding behind it. Exploring increasing public floor space, revealing the library areas and utilization at the main and Southmost branch. What we're trying to do is as the teen area, car area, but also like here at the Southmost, Brenda's office, we want to move her more into back end and use that, open it up for the public. In other words, try to have less staff space. The time that I were designed that was needed. Now we notice with all the automation, we need less staff space and more floor public space. So that's what we're trying to do at both buildings. And again, we're exploring. Doesn't mean we're gonna do it, but we're gonna explore it and see what we can do. And then implement phase 2 of the Southmost Library Analysis Report to improve appearances of the foyer. As you know, all the colorful stuff in here, but the only thing that's the main entrance. We need, the main entrance is still the original colors. We wanna paint it, make it better, more appealing as you come in. And that basically finalizes our whole overhaul of Southmost Library from the inside. Any questions?
Any questions on 5?
Well, can I ask if the community garden were to take place, who would be taking care of it, like weeding it out and stuff?
Or so.
And staff.
Okay. I don't know that y'all want to do that, but okay, y'all, it's to your discretion.
I think we do a pretty good job of keeping the whole, and we have staff members. We have 6 staff full-time, four and 2 part-time.
Be a session of learning weeds. What are good weeds and what are bad weeds? I don't know. You can make some kind of a class out of it, I'm sure, and get volunteers. Yeah.
Or an alternative option is just a seed repository. Supposedly that's, and you can tie it with like a science.
Most definitely.
So that's a lot less maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for the most part, the whole yard, the full lawn, that's mowed by the Parks Department. Just deal with the landscaping part of it as far as the plants, and so we would take care of that. Yes, sir.
I want to say too, there was some prior discussion about, I know some partner organizations that were suggested too, right?
Pardon me?
There was prior discussion about partner organizations to work with, to consider working with.
Well, the wellness.
Brownsville Wellness.
Of course, if we do get the grant, then that's a whole different thing.
Any other questions for item 5? Moving on, item 6, library report, 6A, youth services.
We switched it up a bit. Our adult services is gonna go first because they have programming to get to right now.
Okay.
Hi, thank you all. And you might be saying, why is he wearing an apron? Why is he wearing an apron? Well, actually today, right now at 6, I have my cooking class. So I'm gonna gather all the patrons coming in, kids. So right now I have about seven or 8 people waiting already. So our project will be Ants on the Log. So it'll be celery, healthy living. It's the month of Eat Better, Eat Healthier month. So why not? Because a couple of weeks ago, I saw a little kid eating Takis in the Monster. So I said, we got to introduce something here as part of our community, go out there.
Teenagers.
Exactly. Focus on the passion, not much on the position, and see what else is out there. So anyway, so let me start off. My name is Jose Gonzalez. I'm a librarian here at the Brownsville Public Library System. And I'll start off with the adult computer classes. Thus far, they've been extremely successful. The response has been phenomenal from our students. It's becoming too great of a program that now our students here at Southmost are requesting them for the afternoons. So that's up in the air right now. See what can happen. I'm collaborating with our own students and see what kind of agenda we can create for the afternoon. We already proposed the agenda for starting January. So it will no longer be basic, and now it's going to be intermediate. So we'll be a little bit more advanced on Word, PowerPoint, etc. And then the students say, well, actually, Jose, now we can actually help you because, we're advancing so much that we don't want to be part of the basic anymore. We want to be the ones in the afternoon now or in the new advanced courses. So it's been great to actually see a lot of the students enjoying it, and not only enjoying it, but learning as well. Because we try to build an atmosphere, culture of learning, not just sitting in front of the computer and not really doing much, right? So we really want to expose that and enhance the learning possibilities of everybody here in our community, especially right here with our beloved community of Southmost. As you can see, some of the pictures there, everybody's having fun. Nobody is spacing somewhere else. Everybody's very interested in the classes, and every single week there's something new. Tomorrow is job searching. Tomorrow, that's our topic, job searching online. Now the paper application is pretty much long gone. And in order to actually do an application now, it's computer-based. So we're going to start again from the programs that are available so they can learn. And then when it comes to next semester, they already have a more understanding of how to do a resume, use Word to do a resume, use PowerPoint, use Canva, et cetera. So it's been great. It's been a great program. We start up with, I remember when we started about with about 6, 7 students. Now it's 15 plus almost every day. So it's been great. It's been great. Here at Salmos, it's been accepted very well. So we're going to be thinking about the afternoon for next semester. I really want them. I love doing that. But of course, there's so many we got to focus on.
You're saying, because it's nighttime right now, right? Or
Actually, here at Southmost, it's in the mornings every Tuesday from 10:30 to 12:30. And at Central, it's from 5 to 7. So I've been brought over ideas from our students here at Southmost to do one probably on Tuesdays, 5 to 7, or 4:30, 6:30 for our working people here in our community. So there's so many ideas that they're giving me, the student, which is great. So that pretty much says that they're very interested in these and they're learning. So that's what we want. That's exactly what we want. But as you can see there, we had a student, 93-year-old. She showed up the other day here at Southmost, 93, and she was telling the stories about how back in the days, obviously it wasn't like that, et cetera. Some were joking, some were asking what is her secret, for such enthusiasm and learning. And the beautiful lady, really nice lady. And the program again has been such a success that I was interviewed by the Mexican consulate and TV Azteca. So that pretty much sums it all, that we're out there. We're out there in the community. We're out there in the valley. We're exposing something very important that everybody has to be part of. Because as I keep telling the students, technology, even the refrigerator now has a computer or TV. You can watch TV now. So we got to keep up. We got to keep up. And of course, us as public servants, that's our job to be out there and helping our community. So
a couple of questions. The first is, has the profile of I guess students, has that changed? Because I think what you've said so far consistently over these meetings has been, it seems typically older people. I'm just curious if that's still the case. And then second, I think you said before it's primarily been in Spanish, or is it Spanish and English?
it's both. It's bilingual. Here at Southmost, it's predominant Spanish. Of course, we mix them up. Obviously, we use English and Spanish, but more it's a Spanish. That's what's been attracted more here in our community, here in our classes. And as far as age range, it varies. It's more 50 plus, 45 plus. But if we actually do the classes in the afternoon, it can change. I'm pretty sure it will change because there's been ideas out there that maybe we can have teen computer classes, or we can have adult classes, but of course, adult is 18 plus, we can get students from high school coming over. So the demographics can change if we do them in the afternoon. Obviously, in the morning, there's school and there's so many other people that are in projects, but it could change if we decide to do them in the afternoon here at Southmost too. And yeah, thank you. The Lilly Libraries, these have been actually so much fun. We went last week, we donated about more than 300 books to these little libraries. We actually arrived, we went to deliver in the new spots. That one right there, well, the one on the left is Lopez. So we love going to that one, obviously because it's our neighbor. So it's really nice. We always make it really look really good. Students have actually checked out books there because we go there and we're always stacking it up. We're always filling it up. The one on the right, that's a new one. That's Inside Friendship of Women. Yes, we went into that one. We couldn't find it the other day, so we skipped it, which was last month.
Non-disclosed location.
Yeah.
Purpose.
We couldn't find it. So then we some way we found it somewhere. And then we went and we built a really great relationship with Friendship of Women. They were very, very helpful. They opened up the doors for us. And that's their little mini library indoors. And it's basically more towards children. So we grabbed a lot of children's books and we donated them to the department.
Thinking for that venue, how about magazines that are out of circulation? Is that a possibility, being that it's indoors?
True, that's a good. And with our campaign that we have here in the library with patrons or the community donating books to us, we can actually put that too, books and magazines. Because it really has helped us out. Yeah, so, and then the Snoopy one, Snoopy, that was so much fun. That was Leon Gardens. We go to Leon Gardens, so we deliver, that's by Ruben Torres. It's a great little spot. We love going there because every single time we go there, almost it's empty. So it's wonderful. The one on the right, that's a new one. It's Paredes Elementary. What I like about Paredes Elementary is that they have it outside. So it's open to everybody. They have it outside in their premises, so it's wonderful. We love going to that one. We went there when it was after school, so once we were there were some cars that were saying hi to us, so we gave some to those people that were there in the line for the waiting for their kids. And then these two right here is also a new spot where we started going, which was the Centro Cultural of Cameron Park. Yes, we truly enjoy that. That was right next door to Paredes Elementary. And we love going to that one too. One of the ladies, one of our students has a connection with Centro Cultural, and she was the one who told us about it. So every single time when she comes in, I tell her, man, we haven't disappointed you. We go there, we fill in, I show her the pictures, the smile. It's always fun. Yeah, Centro Cultural and Oliveira Park on the right side. Oliveira Park has been very, very fun too. They've actually, during the games, I've actually personally have passed by there and I've seen the games. And when next time we go, it's about half of it is empty. So it's been fun. And we have others that are still pending. So we're gonna hopefully go this week or next week. And in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month here at Adult Programming, we created these programs here for our patrons. We had Latin karaoke night. Karaoke night is always best here. It's always the best. We have a lot of talent that comes out here and they start singing, and sometimes it's difficult to take the mic away because we're having so much fun. We're having so much fun. It is so much fun. We have little kids that sing. It's open to everybody, even though it says adult services, everybody's welcome. You know, our community is about family. So that's what we do. Land movie night, we had Cantinflas. It was great that I saw a lot of senior citizens come in to watch that one. They were having a blast. I sometimes didn't get the jokes of Cantinflas, but they were loving it. They were loving it. So it was beautiful. And we also had Explore Your Hispanic Roots. So that helped us out in promoting our genealogy databases that we have and exploring our Hispanic roots. You know, we go far away in our culture. So we did attract students from high school that were very interested in that program because now it's all research that they have to do and program and downloading activities. So we had a blast on that one. The book club was a Hispanic heritage theme. So we had a couple of students that brought in cookbooks, Hispanic cookbooks. So we were passing along tamales and all those great recipes that we have. And then at the end, it was Dia de los Muertos, do it yourself, Day of the Dead, bring your own doll. So this one I was at Walmart and I noticed people were looking at the doll section, etc. So I said, you know, that would be interesting too. If they can purchase a doll, we provide the ink and, you know, all that paint, and they actually create the doll themselves. And it could be the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos. So it was a success as well. But all in honor of our culture, you know, our Hispanic Heritage Month culture. So it's been interesting. It's been fun. So that's what's going on here on our.
What was the, just curious, the turnout for Dia de los Muertos?
We had about 7, I believe, but the majority of them had already brought them back made. They brought them made from home. So we actually just gave a little bit more of spice to it.
Because you could do it again. I mean, it's actually November.
Yes.
November 1st is actually the other one.
We're actually gonna have do it yourself face painting program. We're gonna have a face painting on November 2nd, so might as well promote that one too. Yeah, we have a lot of things going on, so should be fine.
Your muralist is
Exactly.
she's really good.
Yeah,
Ours face painting.
and I already have 3 volunteers here to help me with that, so it should be fun. It should be. There's so many things.
Sounds great. Any questions for Jose? Or before I can release him to his cooking?
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, let me go do my cooking.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jose.
Thank you.
Any other changes to the agenda?
We're gonna go ahead and continue minutes. So it's use.
Services, okay, turn to the youth services.
Hello. I'm Kayla, Youth Services Librarian. So it's just let y'all know what's going on in October. So next slide.
Just the first couple of slides are like recaps of kind of what, the new programs that we had implemented and kind of how they're going. So Lego days are now every other Friday, and we've been getting a really good turnout. It started off a little bit slow here at Southmost, but it's been picking up. And then at Maine, they just got hit hard. So, yeah, so it's people, they really love it. We have Legos there for the, younger kids. And then we also have Lego sets of the smaller ones for the older kids. So that's been going really well. Story time. I just wanted to highlight this one because we did have Shepherd come in and read her book for us. So Rocket Goes to the Moon. So that went really well. We had the kids make little giraffe headbands, and she had a lot of fun. So
She did.
yeah.
Big comment.
Yeah, she was here. Those are pictures from Southmost. She was here in the evening, but she did go to Maine as well in the morning. Which fortunately I did not have the pictures for that one. They're somewhere, but this is how it went at Southmost, so. And then our teen programs have been going well as well. They kind of turned into little family events, but we welcome everybody. So this first one, Sarina, can you remind me?
Yes, the first one that the Anime Teen Club recommended. The second one was bookmark, finger knitted bookmarks here at Southmost.
For teen night, yeah. So we've been getting a good turnout at those as well. So this is, what we have going on for October, just for teens. Sarina, do you want to talk about it?
Yes, the first activity that we have is the Teen Big Week. We are going to celebrate that October 9th to the 15th. We have right now a display at the entrance of the library. We have one at Main as well. Also, we have a book tasting right now for teens. We're gonna have a teen cosplay contest. They're gonna be on the trunk or treat. They're gonna have prizes. And we have the anime club, and the teen night will be like our regular programming each month. And then for like a passive activity for teens, we're going up in October, they crack the code mystery murder. So they can request like some clues, and they can sit down and then resolve like a mystery. So those are the activities that we have for teens for this month. Also for the teen advisory council, on my activities, I've been like promoted and also give away some papers so they can, if they're interested in be part of it, they can put their name and the email. Right now, so far I have like 7 volunteers. I'm waiting to finish October activities to see if I get some more. I hope like 12, so I can send an email and set up a date so I can meet with things too.
Quick question about that. So is there an application or selection process for the
No,
teen council?
so far, what I've been doing is just, if they're interested in, I've been asking for the name and the email, and I will send all of them an email with, the instruction on what we're looking for and all that. So if they're interested in, then I will set up a date so we can meet up and, know them and start explaining them what requires to be. But I'm still working on that.
Is that something that we can post on Facebook or social media just to like let other teens know as well, if they haven't gone to the programmings or anything, that there is going to be a teen council just to get more people involved?
I was gonna say, I think right now we're just kind of like trying to gauge their interest. And of course, if they're coming to our events, then they're interested in the library, right? So that's kind of why she's going after them first. But eventually, once it starts to grow, we'll promote it, outward. And but right now we're just trying to like really define what it's going to be, and who better than to help us with that than the teens that already come to the library all the time. So, yeah.
And what is that website, or is it email? Is there a specific?
No, what I've been doing is, I've been giving away surveys to see what they want to do, what they want to see in our programming. So I put like an space, I put a little like sentence, what is like the advisory council. No, that's fine. And then I ask if you're interested in, please let your name and your email. So I've been gathering names and email. So when I have like more than 12, I would then send an email to explain them exactly what it is, and then maybe a date that we can like meet it up, things like that. But I'm still working on it. I'm just trying to see how many interests I have, like how many things are interested in being part of. Well, so far I have like 7. So I just been like seeing how it's going.
Well,
Is there a number in which you would cap it at?
Right.
Is there a number in which you would cap it at?
Yes, I would like to have at least 15 volunteers, because I know when I send an email, probably not all of them will, gonna be here. So I expect like at least with 8, I think gonna be like a good number for a council, 7 or 8. But right now I just have 7, but I don't know how many of them.
One per branch.
I will do like one over there, one here. Just one team.
That's a good idea. Are there gonna be, I mean, just something, separate councils, one at the Southwest Branch Council and a main branch council?
Ideally, it would be the same, because we're trying to create a unity instead of the us versus them.
Okay. Well, the only reason I asked just because of the location, and I know, and we've talked about this before, but some high school kids, they get credit, National Honor Society stuff, if they need service hours, so. I think if you need help getting the word out, I think once you hit the nerdy kids,
The schools have readers clubs, so that'd be something to tap into if you're lacking.
Any other question?
Okay, so one of our bigger events for this month is the Spooky STEM Night. We actually started doing this last year, and I did not expect the response that we got for it. I set up like 4 tables in here, and then I had to put more tables out in the lobby. So it was really, really successful, and the kids had a lot of fun. So we're bringing it back. It's going to be a yearly thing now. So we try to use the letters of STEM. The first one is skeleton. So we're going to be making slime, and we're going to put them into little clear gloves, and we're going to tie them up, and it's going to be fun little, I'm calling them stress toys, but I mean, they're little squishy toys. So the next is treats. We're going to be decorating Oreos to make some cookies, some creepy cookies. We're giving them all the supplies to make little witch hats, bats, and spiders. And then for experiment, we're going to be doing dissolving pumpkin candies. So which liquid will dissolve them the fastest? I will tell you, it's not fast. So these are just kind of like an example. I was testing them out today. So believe it or not, there were pumpkins in these cups. This is water, and then this is Dawn dish soap. So it creates like this really gross, thing that I think the kids are just gonna love. So that's that one. And then Monster is using everyday items to make vampire bats. So these are our little vampire bats, and this is just a coffee filter and a clothespin. So it's like stuff around the house, that you can be crafty with. So that's Spooky STEM Night. We're expecting a pretty good turnout just based off of last year, and we've been promoting it, for a couple of weeks now. And so we're hoping for the best.
What's the date on that?
This one is next week, next Tuesday. I don't know what day that is, but it's next Tuesday.
18.
Next slide. The Old City Cemetery Haunted Tour. So this is also next week on Wednesday, the 19th. This is not really a youth service, I guess. It's for ages 13 and up. For this one, we are partnering with the Brownsville Historical Association. This one, we also did it last year, and we had a really good response to it. So we thought, why not bring it back? This is registration required, and registration opened on October 3rd, and registration filled up on October 3rd. So we have 45 people registered, and then we have 30 groups on the wait list. I don't know, I didn't count how many people it was, but I have 30 groups on the wait list. So, but we're going to contact everyone on Monday. That's, just to confirm the reservation. And then, if someone pulls out, then we, move people up on the wait list. So that
event, or do they charge something else?
So Brownsville Historic Association, they're doing this for us for free.
Oh.
So usually they have their own haunted tours, and they have their own things, and they charge for those. But in this partnership, they agreed to do ours for free.
Is it all college kids? Like, is it their professor who does the tour?
Yes, yeah, so his name, yes, Mr. Knob, yeah, so he did it last year. He won't be doing it this year. He's just up in years, so they decided they're gonna have a different volunteer do it this year.
The Knops has
Yes, yes, I remembered. I was like, it's her husband. I don't remember his name. Yeah, because she was actually there last year. She went to the tour last year. So it was a lot of fun and, we're hoping to.
Is that the one where they have people dress up and play some of the characters?
No, that's the Murder, Mystery and Mayhem. This one is just, it's the tour, it's the history of the cemetery itself, of the Old City Cemetery. And then they kind of throw in the spooky elements, like there was somebody haunting it or, things like that. And then at the end of it, once the tour is over, we kind of gather around and we have our patrons tell their own spooky stories. So we'll have a little snack table set up and then they can share their own scary stories. So we're very excited. Next one. The Fright Night Escape Room. So these are just some pictures of the amazing props that one of our staff members has been putting together. This is another one that got very popular very fast. We're gonna have one here at Southmost and one over at Main. This one was also registration required and registration is full as well. We have 12 different groups participating for a total of 60 people. We do also have a wait list for this one as well. So we're going to confirm with them, make sure that they're going to show up. And if they pull out, then we'll move people in. We are also going to let people on the day of, if they're interested, they can hang around and wait and see if there's a no-show and we'll just fill them in. Each escape room takes about 45 minutes. Like if they're super smart and they finish in 20 minutes, wow, good for you. But it should take about 45 minutes for them to solve it and escape. So we have 4 time slots on both days that we're doing. So a total of 8 time slots. So it's really cool. I'm very excited. One of our staff members, her name is Gwen. She's actually worked on the Dino Zone with Bianca. So she kind of took the lead on it and she's been making all the props. Her and another staff member, Nicole, have just gone above and beyond with it. So we're very, very excited.
Is that mixed ages or kids?
So this is also more like a 12 and up kind of thing. Yeah, it's spooky. And finally, the trunk or treat. And I did not put up the date on there, but it's October 26th.
Thank you.
It's on a Wednesday. Yeah.
You had me waiting.
Had to keep you in suspense. It's on October 26th, in 2 weeks. So these are, it's a list of some of the vendors and organizations that we have confirmed so far. We're still reaching out and trying to get a little bit more. This one's going to take place at the main branch in the parking lot. The goal is to have, our organizations come out and dress up and decorate their cars and pass out candy and basically just make it a fun event for the kids. HEB is on the list. They will not be there in person, but they did donate gift cards to us, which we are going to use to purchase hot dogs. So we're going to be passing out hot dogs and they sponsored that little portion of it. Yeah, that's basically it. It's just, we're hoping that everybody shows up and we're making little gift bags for all the organizations as a thank you for coming out. And we're excited because this will be.
This program before.
No, this is a new one.
I
So,
was gonna ask, how many participants do you anticipate?
well, we anticipate, we're aiming for 200. Just because it's a little bit smaller, like, for example, for Christmas, we anticipate 500 per branch. For Easter, kind of the same number, around 500 per branch. So this one, it's our first time doing this. It's at Maine, so we're looking at 200, but we honestly have no idea. It's hard to predict that number sometimes.
There's 29th. That was when the research lab was out.
No, and I actually reached out to them and was like, making sure that we didn't overlap stuff, so.
And there's still room for other sponsors.
Yes, so if you guys know anyone, send them our way. But I want to say that's the last one, right? Yes. Okay, any questions?
And that was from what time to what time?
That is from 6:30 to 8.
6:38.
Questions, you sir?
No, you have a lot of neat activities.
Thank you.
This is my- Okay, then we'll move on to 6C, Makerspace Services.
Hey guys, my name's Lázaro. I brought, but I'll show you those when we get moving. All right, so first off, alchemy, 3D printing. Taking a material and turning it into an item. So here we have, this used to be a spool of plastic, so did that skull that, so you'll see all types of props that I'm gonna bring out. Most of them are gonna be 3D printed, but it's getting more and more popular. Everything from doing this little prop, if you wanna pass it around that way. That was for our escape room. We printed those potions in there. It's supposed to be like an insane asylum, so they wanted something that looked like medication. Patrons have been going crazy asking us for Dungeons and Dragons figurines, so I printed an extra one for myself just because I thought this one looked cool. And we were also dialing in our 3D printers to make sure that we had the best quality of printouts for those patrons. So that's where the orders continue to rise from the graves. The props is the little vial there, and then we will be getting, because of the request and because of the grants that we've been acquiring, we will see that part of the department continue to grow. Next one. Dancing with the Dead, also known as programming. Flight to Extraterrestrial Lands. We made, and that is the one prop I forgot, I knew I was forgetting one. We made a little base where you put your, we used old water bottles and we put a cork through it with a tiny bit of water. So what we did was we pressurized the water bottles. And then with the pressure, it would shoot up like a rocket, and the kids had fun. They were doing like their own experiments. They filled it up with different levels of water. One of them was like, oh, put more water to see if it goes further. It did not, it was just heavier. And then the other kid was like, well, put less. And then from there, they ended up making a game out of it. Here in particular, here at Southmost, I had 3 patrons that stayed behind after everybody left because they just wanted to keep doing it. And they made their own game where they shot the water bottle up, and one of them caught it, and the other 2 had to like tackle him and take the water bottle. It turned into a dangerous but fun game for them. And then future programming, we will be bringing our ghostly friends to life. So we'll be using a combination of cheesecloth and plaster of Paris, and we'll be draping it over a model. We're basically going to be creating the model and then draping that over and allowing it to harden. So once you take off the structure, you'll be ending up with like a floating ghost. Next time around, we'll have one for you guys to see how that turned out. Next, Summoning the Undead, also grants, as mentioned a little moment ago. We are working with a lot of grants. I've been working closely with, where are you, Courtney? And we've, a lot of my time when it's not being spent on our programming or on our 3D prints has been spent in acquiring information for these grants that we've applied for. And now we're submitting all the paperwork, all the different trainings and stuff that we've had to do, so that we're able to complete this and get more services available for our patrons. So we should be seeing some new machines come in, which once they're available to the public, we'll introduce them to you. They should be fun and they should help expand the amount of services that we offer in Makerspace. Go ahead. And then precognition, or seeing into the future. We're also working on making some signage for Makerspace to make it stand out more. And then along with that, and with the new machines, we're gonna get some new furniture for those machines to be set up on, so that it's not one of those things where we're like taking a machine off of the table to bring out the one that they need. It's gonna be a lot more user-friendly in there. I think that should be it. And then these are just additional props that I'm planning on bringing up. This one's my favorite.
Want to put the brand in the bowl?
Yeah, they're all, those are all 3D printed. And then this is a sample of a vinyl that one of the patrons at Maine made. And they used it for a birthday party that they had. So it was something similar to that. They brought their own bags and used their own vinyl to create that with our heat press.
Any questions for Makerspace?
Oh, there's one more slide.
Oh,
Oh, it's the.
this one. Each of these meetings, you're always Yeah, you talk about how the demand is increasing. I guess, what's the wait times for permissions for 3D prints?
So right now, we are still able to get our 3D prints out within the 2 weeks of requests. It used to be one of those things where we would say 2 weeks to give ourselves a little bit of extra time, just in case something was wrong. And right now, just because of the amount of requests that we're getting, we're hitting the 2 weeks, and that's when it's done printing. So we might have to give them a little bit more space to give ourselves a little more time, just in case something has gone wrong.
Yeah.
But fortunately, the printers have been working excellent. They've not been giving Anthony or me at all. So we've been able to still keep that 2 week turnaround from request to pickup.
I guess another, and I know we've asked this too, but is it the same patrons making the request? Is it? more
So
new-
we have had a couple of patrons that continue to come back and submit the same request. What we've noticed is the Dungeon and Dragons group, those are new guys, and those are bringing their friends to come and create their own
Stranger Things.
figurines. Yeah, very Stranger Things type of thing going on. Actually, one of our largest, is for the 3D printing, there is a cell. So one of our largest cells so far was a total, I want to say it was like 97 or 107, somewhere in between there, dollars worth of prints, because they printed their figurine, they printed a whole map that they're gonna use to play the game. And he was the dungeon master, and he was like, I need all of this because I'm gonna fill it up with fog. And he was explaining it to us, and I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but I will print it for you and I will make it look good. He was really happy. He actually picked it up this weekend. So we are seeing some new patrons starting to submit requests. And now that we're starting to, I guess, tap into those like smaller communities, like right now we're getting the Dungeon and Dragons group. We've also had a couple of people start to request like cosplay props. So like bigger swords or different to complement the character that they're playing, masks, yes. We're starting to see a couple of those. We do foresee that starting to pick up a little more for Halloween, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then also I just recently had a request for this one patron asked for 2 different sets of earrings. So I was able to print the little hanging part of the earring, and all they have to do is loop around the little hook that goes on their ear. So some jewelry too.
Any questions? Any other?
There was like a video once, like, see what we're printing today. Is that something, I thought that was really cool, because I have been, since I've joined the board, I was telling people about this, but I was able to be like, look, it's printing something, but then I tried to like go find it again and I couldn't find it. So I think that's pretty cool to be able to send like.
Yeah, so on our Twitch channel, we do try to keep that going. However, we do at the same time want to respect the privacy of some of our patrons, and some of them are not okay with us showing what we're printing for them. Yeah, I know. But we are hoping to do more of those live streams.
Or make it, I guess, easier to find again, because then I was there scrolling for forever, because I was like, I swear, hold on, let me find it. And then I don't remember what happened, but I couldn't like show, I showed one person, I was trying to show somebody else. And they were all excited. They're like, oh, let me see. And then I couldn't find it.
Yeah, a question about privacy. But I mean, it's being printed, anyone can walk by and see what's being printed.
Right, yeah.
I mean, there's no,
And there's no personal
Privacy.
information.
oh, I know, it's more, I mean, there's, I don't know, I would say expectation of privacy, right? I mean, anyone can just see what's, I don't know, I like the idea of just you, yeah, if there was a way to promote, I didn't know there was a video.
It was like the form in which they're filling out for their request. Could there be some kind of stipulation?
Disclaimer, like this is not.
Right, exactly.
We could add that to the
It's
form.
not that hard. I didn't know how hard it was to actually be streaming that. 'Cause I mean, not that tons of people are gonna be watching it, but it'd be cool to then, because then I wanted to see like the finished product, and I never could go like back and see. I mean, I think that's something that would be interesting.
Yeah,
We don't really know what 3D, you printed that, but to see the process of it.
Yeah, and I'll work with Anthony to try to make sure that we're able to make it to, because if it's something that interests you and it's helping you promote our services, well, then it's something that we would like to do more
Well,
of.
I guess I should ask follow up too. I mean, are there, I don't know, like inappropriate requests like this?
No.
Is like
Well,
something.
Not so far.
Reject.
You can find all types of stuff online, but we're trying to keep it as PG as possible here, especially because Like my 3D printers are pointed at the children's areas. So the last thing I want is for a child to be like, mommy, what is that?
Right.
Right.
We'll have the authority to reject any.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, it was all, the forms are all by legal.
Yeah, and the form does include a stipulation where it's kind of like this is gonna be
Reserve the
public
right.
and we reserve the right to decline your request.
Okay, no other questions? Then moving on to 6D outreach.
Good afternoon. My name is Courtney Taylor. I'm the library service coordinator for both branches of our Brownsville Public Library System. Next page. We continued with the Mexican consulate this month, going twice for a total of 81 patrons. Next slide. We also did our second rendition of the farmers market where you get to see Anthony back there, who's part of our Makerspace Advisors, which is why they got to bring the cool sword with them. And we're able to see additional public members. They were able to outreach to 90 different people. Next slide, please. With Palm Grove Elementary, we were able to join their parents' night. And Miss Dulce and Mr. Jose, who left for adult programming, were able to give a lecture on adult services and library services for not just the parents, but also for their children during that time. Next slide, please. We also got to do open house this past month. They're able to see over 168 people. Next slide. And our final event for this month was a bit of a conjoined event with the city of Brownsville. We were able to go to Careers and Coffee Expo. As you see, our branch managers and our assistant branch manager, as well as our director, ended up there with our librarian staff and our frontline staff to be able to promote library services, show that we are hiring within the community and do on-site interviews, as well as help greet people and patrons so that they're know about different databases that we use to help with career education and certification. We were able to see over 306 people there. Our monthly total was over 600. And because this is the end of our fiscal year, I want to mention that outreach was able to see over 6,700 people for this past fiscal year, which is a great building block for us. Anybody have any questions?
What was your most attended venue? Outreach?
It's actually overall Gladys Porter Zoo for when we went for their Kids Appreciation Day. We had the most people there, and we are going to be going to the zoo at the end of this month because they've requested Makerspace show up for their Get Up and Move
The zoo.
event at the zoo. So that's gonna be at the end of October as well.
I have to say that sometimes I see the car like driving around the city. and I'm like, oh, there they go. Sorry.
It helped. It helped.
I'm like, it's good.
Real sweet.
All right, thank you. Any questions for outreach? Okay, well, thank you so much. Is there a new business or is that the end of the agenda?
I just invite you to see the latest update on the mural. It's become very colorful. Do you want to go see it or any changes in the makerspace? Or
The book tasting is also set up so you guys can go browse the recommendations.
Don't forget to like us on Facebook so you can see it online as well.
Okay, well, then moving on to item 7, is there a motion to adjourn? Okay, second, okay.
thank you, Ms. Gonzalez.
Adjourn at 6:36. All right, thank you.
Thank you for the work.
Or
This might be for a while.
Sorry, you said I must have been. Okay.
USA. Yeah. USA.
Okay. No.
Assistant. No. I don't want to. Family.
I was asking Dulce and Myra like what station they wanted to do. I was like, why not already have called it